So today I'm going to do a really futuristic look, very Star Trek. I don't know, Star Wars. I'm not a big I don't know, nerd junkie, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I do appreciate a good makeup fantasy look. So I'm going to start off with the Studio Pigment in LOL. You can do this with any bright, intense color, but neons are showing up everywhere this summer, so might as well go for it, be part of it, be part of the action. So I'm using the lip brush to begin with, and I just wet it. I have a little cup with me here, just full of water, and it's going to help you put on the pigments much more intense way, and then after you can kind of double up and put more powder. So I'm starting with the inner corner of my eyes, and a little bit underneath too. Once your brush is damp, you don't have to always go back. You don't want it to be all clumpy either. So once it's damp, you're good. You just dip it back into the powder. So right now it looks a lot like paste, which it is. And then you're going to take more of a fluffed out brush. This one is the A10. You're going to go over the dry pigment, and you're going to go over. It's going to help it stick, and it's going to give it, I don't know, kind of more of a brushed out look. Don't worry about pigments falling everywhere. You can clean that up later. Any little clumps, just knock them off. Once whatever is wet dries, it'll be easy to, you can just literally sweep with a blush brush or whatever you want, and it'll all kind of come off. Alright, so leave it like this for now, let it dry a little bit, and then we'll add some more pigment to it later. And we'll go to our darker color. So I'm going to be using the palette, the Trio in Rosewood, and I'm going to take a bigger shader brush. This is the A21 brush. I'm going to use the darker color. It's like a dark purple, has a little bit of glitter in there, very planetary. Okay. Yes, and then I'm going to go on the inside, and you want to kind of make a triangle shape. So you go up to the eyebrows. If you don't already have dark eyebrows, then you can pencil them in so that they're dark and it's more intense and it really all blends in. So you go up and then you kind of blend it out. Make sure you go up into the eyebrows. It'll give it more of a fluid feel. Alright, so you have your basic shape going on. Next, we're going to do these crazy lines on the side. So just start somewhere up here on the temple. You bring it down all the way to the outer corner of your eye. Don't worry about getting it perfect. You can change that later. You can fix that, refine it with more of your angled brush. So I have two lines. I have one that's really, really thick, and then I have a little thin one underneath. So just fill it in. You can make this darker, you can make this lighter, whatever you want. You can build it up. Okay, you have your basic line going on. And I have powder all over my face, but that's okay. You can just blend it off, wipe it off, take a wipe after. No problemo. Next I'm going to do the really thin line right underneath, and I'm going to use the angled brush, A14, same color, and this color I like it a lot more as opposed to gray, especially with the yellow. It's not as intense, and it's kind of a softer look for this intense look, if that makes any sense. So you just follow the line underneath. And then if you want, you can straighten out your edges here. Anyways, you get the idea. Now we're going to go back to the yellow. I'm going to blend it out a little bit. So I didn't even add any powder. It's just dry now. So now I can play with it a little bit more. You can see it kind of goes a little bit everywhere. It gets a little bit messy. Don't worry about it. Just brush it off. And then I'm going to wet it again, and I'm going to do the same thing right under here. And I'm going to go a little bit over the triangular brownish area. So I'm going to go back to my lip brush, dip it in the water again. And you want just like I guess a sticky base for it. And you want also the color to be as intense as possible. Alright, so again, you can let it dry if you want, but I'm going to just go ahead and put the powder on top. So after you're done putting on the powder wet, you're going to go over it again with your A10 brush. It's a small shader brush. Just pick up a little bit of powder and go over. You can let that dry, and then you can blend it out a little bit more if you're finding that it's sticking. And anything that is loose as far as powder, especially when the pigment's dry, you can just dust off. It's not going to do anything to your look. Your look is still going to stay intact. And all I do to finish off this look is add a touch of the Sand Beige lipstick, and this will really help to neutralize the red in your lips and make your eyes pop. So enjoy your futuristic makeup look.